let's be real. City are probably the main challenger.
It's only City, isn't it?
It's only, well, yeah, but obviously the consistency with City is a very big problem. We've seen that tonight. We've seen that at the weekend. We've seen that for the last 4 games. So where do you think that you're going to drop enough points and City are going to be consistent enough to close the gap? Because at 7 points, I get.
How many games is that though?
What? How many?
7 points. Really and truly, what is 7 points at this moment in time?
Yeah, but you're 7 points in front. So where do do you see yourself slipping up? Is it going to the Etihad? Is it?
I think we need to win at the Etihad. Obviously, mathematically, it probably doesn't mean anything, but it'd be nice to finally win there. I kind of have built that game up in my mind as you win there, you might just be champions. Football's unpredictable. Like, I know we beat Wolves, but I couldn't have predicted that Wolves was probably going to be one of our toughest games of the season. I've said this once, and I'm going to say it again. Like, I don't want to take too much stock in the points gap. By all means, I love it, but start of March, April is when I start taking these things in. I genuinely think it's going down to the wire. Genuinely.
I've supported Arsenal for a long time and never seen us win the Premier League. I just have never seen us do things easily. Huh?
What do you mean? You're the same age?
No, I became a fan. Champions League finals was the first game I watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was quite late to liking football.
Oh, fair play, mate.
I know. And so...
technically, you have been alive there when Arsenal won the league.
Yeah, but I haven't been a fan.
No.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you became a fan?
11?
What was you doing before that?
Yeah, what were you doing before that?
What, listening to Justin Bieber?
Yeah. I was helping Migos a record deal.
Yeah, think about it. Allow him.
No,
Yeah, do you know what? They used to. It's great having you on the show. You guys are great together.
Yeah.
I was quite late to. I was quite late to playing as well. But I say that like I made it pro.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. I was midfield. I was quite late. It's incredible that I made it to school. Honestly.
Power League when I was 16 was incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 5 aside at the Common, man. It was an incredible turnaround from me. I picked it up quick.
What's in the midfield?
No, I was like quite lightweight. I was like, I don't want to.
Really? I couldn't tell.
Oh God.
Didn't fancy the tackle.
I wish I was more like you, mate.
More like Jorginho. I was more like, just give me the ball, I'll pass it and I'll keep it moving.
I'm like Jack Spence, man. Just left back, right back.
Fair play.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, how did we get onto this? Right, never seen us win the league. So I fear it because...
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of like, you know.
Let me paint you a picture.
Oh, sorry. No, I think I get it.
We're in the FA Cup semi-final. Who's in front of us? Hull, someone else, Wigan and us. We haven't won a trophy for 9 years. I go to Wembley. What do? Go 1-0 down to Wigan. What do? Take it to penalties and nick it against Championship Wigan to go to the final. We get to the final. What do we do against Hull? We're 2-0 down.
Was you at the final as well?
No, I wasn't.
See, I was there in the whole section.
2-0. Oh,
Really?
Wow.
Best day and worst day of my life. Like being 2-0 down for Arsenal. If you lot do this to me, and that's why I'll always love Santi Cazorla, because the smallest man stood up the tallest and just kicked off us
What a
winning
player.
that trophy.
Did you have to do a Hull accent?
No, I'll just keep him quiet. Like the whole fans, like, for obvious reasons, I'll probably
Do
look.
people not recognise you? That's CJ Gooner.
No, this is 2014. I didn't know what YouTube was then.
So yeah, so I've never known Arsenal to make it easy, ever. They're rolling to the title.
But is that PTSD from us, Jim?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course, there's nothing
This is
like
the
that.
support group,
Everything I tried to bring on this show is logical, rational. It's research. I tried to look at the numbers.
Yeah, mate, you've really got to stop that.
Except, yeah, I know. Except for this one feeling here, this one take right here, we are not going to walk it because I support Arsenal Football Club.
I get that, but
The only one that can stop us is ourselves.
Is that what you're saying? That you expect yourself to slip up to a point, you put yourself in a position that you close the gap, but no one's actually been consistent. But you've closed the gap.
For me, it's the more it feels tangible and believable, is the more there's an urge of caution. I would say for me, I don't think we're playing at our sparkling best, and I don't mean that in a disingenuous way. I mean that, like, whatever people say, if we've got this points tally and we're still in 4 competitions at this moment in time, when everything clicks into gear, then we're gone. I'm a bit like James in that we like to audit the performance, we like to look at the numbers, and there's a lot of gears to go up, and I genuinely believe the only one that can stop Arsenal is themselves. So I think I'm at the point, based on last season and this couple seasons before that, I probably only believe we win the league when we actually do it, and it takes some time to sink in. But just game by game, let's just keep working. I don't look at the league table. I don't know where we are. Let's just
I look
keep
at it
trying,
every
man.
day and I struggle.
I don't even know how you do it. Like,
Do you both think that you should be adding anything to your squad this window?
general,
The reason I asked that is just from conversation I've had with Arsenal fans this week, that they said if they felt that there was someone attacking in the market, someone on the left, or a striker, that they would want to try and dip the toe in.
If it was up to me, a centre mid and a left winger. Striker, I guess if Gyökeres ain't doing what he's doing, we could look at that in the summer, but I think we need another left wing would be a welcome addition.
I have a completely different take on this. I would like a player. I want and I can't believe I'm saying it after the summers we've had, I want another centre-back.
Trust me.
Oh, James.
A versatile defender of the timber would be great.
Genuinely.
Yeah, we could do with another defender.
Here's my pitch.
James.
Here's my pitch. Let's go through every player. Timber's had 2 surgeries since he's been at Arsenal. Ben White, very injury prone for 2 years. Saliba, 3 injuries this year. Gabriel, 2 surgeries in 2025. Nkapie out at the moment. Calafiori, very injury prone. Lewis Skelly, not a left back. Mosquera's just had 2 months out. Every player, I'm really worried about the amount of minutes they're going to have to play because of how many players are sort of chopping and changing who's in and who's out. So I for me, would get someone as backups, then Lewis Skelly can help in midfield at times.
But is that not something that you...
Oh, go on!
Saka's about to score. Oh, that's a fantastic tackle.
No, he took too long.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. He did take too long, but it's still a fantastic tackle.
Wow, we see both Saka chances so differently. He took too long here. No, look, he should hit it.
Done it first.
You was more critical of the first opportunity. I'm more critical of,
No, the other way around.
Yeah, the other way around. The other way around.
Victor Valdepenas, by the way, is it Real Madrid defender you have been linked with? So
19 years old, left back / left centre back.
He loves the left back / left centre back.
He loves them.
Lucas Bergval's
Can we bring Rice on to take the corner?
Yeah, he went down injured, Abby, a few months ago.
Yeah.
So Bergval's coming off the youngster Byfield.
Just can't catch a break.
More on that in a second. Arsenal about to make a couple of substitutions, and they've got corner as well. Maybe make the subs now, and Declan Rice can come on and whip this in. Do you guys not think, though, James, when people talk about, Arsenal are going to bottle it and all these kind of things that get thrown your way, and obviously we all know you've been close and haven't got over the line, but do you not think that can also work the other way? You can use that, take the real glass half full approach. You can use that in your favour. The fact that this team have been through the adversity, been through the bad times, they're a year wiser, a year older, a year more experienced. They're also they've been in title races. They know what it's like. That you can almost use that not winning the title to your advantage this season.
100%. I think, the whole second again, ole ole, rival fans like to chant that, and when we go to other grounds they chant it.
Don't.
Even teams that would die
hear
to be
it
where
every
Arsenal
week.
is as well.
No, look, the second again, and the criticism of Arsenal being second is one thing. The other way to look at it is Arsenal finished second 3 years in a row. So we have been in that conversation. We have been near the top. When we had a poor season last year, we still finished runners up. At some point, a young team is going to, you would hope, develop and kick on. Now, I know Ollie, I think, finished second a couple times. They didn't kick on. I'm not saying it's a guarantee you eventually get over the line. But I think Arsenal have done things like take Man City to the final day, like demolish Real Madrid, like have the start that we've had this season to make people think, they do have the quality, they do have the tactical nous, they do have the managers. Now they have the minerals and the mentality to just see it out. And that comes with, like you said, hunger. I mean, I think when you watch Declan Rice this season, he looks like he's on a one-man mission. And actually, Saliba and Gabriel, I've got to give them credit. Those 3 in particular look like they're just absolutely not having it. Just the way they're playing, there's a particular aggression about them. There's a particular stand in the way they're speaking in. Did you hear Saliba the other day was basically saying, I'm tired, I need to win trophies.
And that's not the first time he said that, James. He says it every year.
Bukayo Saka's been more, in a good way, more vocal, a bit more kind of mouthy with referees and a bit more kind of vocal with his teammates. Declan Rice, really disappointed after games against Wolves and Forest. I like that. I think there's almost an underlying... Trossard's got this. Arteta. I think a lot of them are almost using the anger to fuel them a little bit, like you said, and I think it's quite good to see.
And for me, more than anything, the manager, the players, they should just be you should be fearless. You should, what can they say? God forbid if we get to me and we don't win a trophy, what can they say that they haven't said in the last 3 years? What can they say that they do not say about football?
This would be the worst.
No, it would be the worst.
If we didn't win a trophy this year.
We will say an awful lot.
That's not my
This would be the one time I'd go, the bottleless thing is utterly fair.
But they can say that. But they can say that. Anyone that's played a game of football, anyone that's done anything in life, if they're going to say that about you and they don't rate you anyways, that's great. As long as you believe in each other. Just use that to drive you. We shouldn't care about any of this bottling nonsense that is said. And at the same time, if we're bantered about being second, obviously we need to get over the line. But we have to be a decent outfit. A lot of the people that slew us and boy us, they would pray to be where that is. The only question that Mikel Arteta needs to answer and these boys needs to answer is, are you winners? The gaffer has shown he can compete with the best of them in Europe. The players as well. Just get over the line and win something. Ideally the Prem or the Champs. And I'm more thinking of from August to now. There's nothing they can say. I don't think my boys feel pressure. I mean, everyone's human and I don't feel I don't feel they feel pressure, man. I'm not being funny. You've gone to the Bernabeu. You've competed against City. The only pressure you must feel is the pressure on yourselves. I don't think it's them old Arsenal sides of, oh my God, we're playing games. We ain't got cojones, as a former ex-player that likes to sit on this platform says. We're all right, man. We just need to win, man. As you can see, my heart is bleeding. Boys, just win something, man. Just win something. And when you, like you said, when you got Rice, when you got Saliba, when you got Gabriel, when you got these people that it hasn't been a straightforward kind of path for them into this Arsenal team, just use it to drive you, man.
I mean, that would inspire me, that whole speech.
What can I say? Arteta sign me, man.
I think they do feel pressure.
Nah.
I think they feel...
I don't think... What pressure... Oh, God. Okay.
Oh,
what pressure do they feel that no normal team does? I'm saying like they don't crumble and, oh, my God, they're scared like they used to say with Arsenal sides. When?
I haven't seen you do it yet.
When? Yeah, you haven't. But
I haven't seen you do it yet. Like,
yeah, but how did they crumble? Like, how did they feel? Beyond just being a footballer, what pressure do they feel?
Well, obviously there's pressure when you are the hunted. Like, a lot of the time Arsenal have been hunting and you are now the hunted. You will feel pressure if City can get their act together, if Villa can get their act together, if Liverpool had their act together, if you were...
That's all ifs and buts.
Of course it is. If you're in a competitive...
that's the point.
Hold on. If you're in a competitive title race, for example, like with Liverpool and City, or when you've had closer title races over the years, you have felt the pressure. You have been in situations where you have bottled it. This season 100%. Might be different. For example, go back last season when you had the PSG game. There was a bit of bottling there.
We didn't bottle the PSG game.
Home, there was a bit of bottle.
That's not losing a game is not bottling. Losing a game is not bottling. We're opening midfield. Dembele scored. That's not bottling. I know it's great. Arsenal lose. We start talking about bottling.
A little bit of bottle.
I'm just saying. If I may finish, I'm just simply saying.
I wasn't done.
Yeah, well, the Arsenal fans are here now. As I was saying, yeah, I just genuinely don't feel they would like game in, game out. We win. Oh my God, we're going to win the title. Oh my God, we're going to lose. I don't believe that.
Say that you don't feel you don't think they feel pressure. Of course,
I don't feel they succumb to
they
pressure.
are elite footballers.
I literally said they feel an element of normal pressure. I just don't think it's the normal thing they used to say about Arsenal. Like, these guys are crumbling week in, week out. I don't feel when, like, for example, when they dropped points against Liverpool, I don't think they sat there and gone, oh my God, it's all over. In the same vein, when they finally won at St James's Park, which we never do, I don't think they sat there and said we're going to do it.
I would have been interested to see.
Of course, every footballer has an element of that.
Of course, there's pressure.
I'm not debating that.
I would have been interested to see, for example, and how obviously the rest of the season goes. Let's say that City do close the gap, or you mess up, or something like that, and let's say there is 3 points in it, and around the time you go to the Etihad, or I don't know, if you come to Spurs and we do something, which I'm sure we won't. I'm sure we won't do anything to stop you in your tracks. But let's say hypothetically in a game of North London derby, something can happen.
No, I agree with that.
I'm saying there are things like that. Let's say that the gap is only 3 points. Then I will see your mental resolve. Then I'll see if this Arsenal team has changed. Which is what I have said from the beginning of the season.
That's the only thing I would say, is that I need to see how we are in the latter stages, because the only time I've seen us kind of like do it in the tail end was probably the year we took it to the last game of the season against City. So there is that element. I just don't think we're living and breathing. When I'm saying bottling or pressure, I don't think we're living and dying by week in, week out. I don't feel that helps anyone. I don't think Arteta is saying, of course, they all know where they're at. They all know the ramifications of winning and losing internally, and obviously other teams. I just don't think they're going week in, week out, 1 minute on top of the moon, the next they're feeling sorry for themselves. That's too temperamental. You don't get to do what we've done. Fair enough, you can laugh about trophies and that, but clearly Arteta's competed against the best of the best when it comes to being a manager. You don't go to the Bernabeu, let alone welcome them to our place and keep your cool temper. We're not that temperamental side. Now we need to show we can be winners, and obviously to become winners, you need to become something you've never been. So that's why I think we're a good side. We now need to be a great side. The things we're good at, I don't care what we're good at. That needs to become great. The evident areas of expectation needs to be improved. And this is where I'm kind of excited and nervous, because in this first, give or take, first half of the season, entering into the second, we've been good. I need us to be great. I need the attack to click. A lot of people argue with me on my YouTube channel. I think we've been a good defensive side this year. I think we need to be a great one. I think whoever's been there, I mean, everyone will say this, but we've conceded a lot of cheap goals. Going back, I keep mentioning the same games. The City game, I know Szoboszlai scored a great free kick against us, but I was here literally. I was here and I was saying, second half, Gaffer, can we change things? The temperature's going against us. I think we've got to learn a lot of learned experiences now to just channel that. So we're hungry. Let's go do this, man. But I don't think we've got a mentality problem. But we need to just simply show we're winners now. Thank you for my TED Talk.
I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I have to say, CJ, you've got me quite excited for Arsenal to win the Premier League now this season. Sorry, Abby, but you know, for me as a Liverpool fan, I'd rather see Arsenal win it than City win it again.
I'm sure you would. If Arsenal win it, then Arsenal win it, and they would have won it because they were the best team, and they would have had a change in their mentality from what I've seen over the years. But let's see what happens when it gets to like crunch time, and if there is consistency from anyone else, if they can challenge you. If not, fair and square, you've won it, no problem.
Left foot in front of the right, one game at a time.
Off out of here.
This is great for
hit it, unlucky. Yes! He's on top. He's definitely on. Gabriel Jesus.
Gabriel Jesus gives Arsenal the lead. Arsenal play lovely one-touch football on the edge of the Inter Milan box. It falls to Saka on the right-hand side, who gets the shot away. And then he kind of scuffs the shot, doesn't he, a little bit?
I think it's Timber.
Timber, sorry.
Yeah, I think
he scuffs the shot. And then to get to Gabriel Jesus, he has to react really quickly to that, kind of sort his feet out. And he does that really well. Zubimendi plays the ball to Eza. Lewis Skelly comes in field. Eza plays it to Jesus. Marino to Lewis Skelly. And Timber scuffs the shot. And then Gabriel Jesus, really good instinctive first time finish into the back of the net. And you guys have started this game off really well and deserve that lead.
Much better team. Defensively, we've been all over them, really aggressive. We're also going really man-to-man. So you've got Zubimendi pulling out to the left at times. You've got Saka in field. So Arsenal really trying to follow them around the pitch because they are a possession-based side under Kivu. Yeah.
Is this a different, like, I don't, Arsenal normally, you like to keep possession, you like to kind of control. This feels like a really aggressive, energetic Arsenal style. I don't remember seeing you guys be this kind of in teams' faces so early on in games.
Sometimes there's sometimes there's combination. So Jesus is a player who links the play. That makes everything feel more fluid. You've got Eze, who is a bit more. He looks forward more than Ødegaard. Now, respectfully, I actually love Ødegaard. He doesn't play that pass like that. That punt, the Eze pass, he punches through the lines, and then.
You think he tries to be a bit more kind of safe?
I think he goes wide. Yeah, really, I think he recycles possession. I think
Eze's a bit more of a braver kind of number 10.
In my opinion, it's not to say Ødegaard can't do it. I think Eze. His first thought when he gets the ball is, how can I get this forward? How can I get to goal? Whereas Ødegaard, I don't think it's like that, which is why I think they could actually complement each other quite well.
Just like against Portsmouth.
Trossard as well, yeah. And Trossard, brilliant in possession. Lewis Skelly, you see him in the pockets, he can pick up. There's just... It's like you've brought the top of the pitch closer. You've got Eze in the pockets, made things happen. You brought Lewis Skelly in, and you can play that kind of football because players are closer together.
Do you think Victor Gyökeres scores that goal?
Yeah. If he's in the box, yeah.
Do you think, but
not today. He doesn't. At his best, he does.
Yeah. But I'd say that he kind of watching him.
So no.
No, I think maybe at the start of the season, yeah, but I think he's lacking confidence and doubting everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Whereas Jesus is playing with a spring this step.
CJ, what have you made of Arsenal's first 18 minutes at Inter Milan?
As James said, we did all well. Cut the track.
Great defending that is, by the way.
Loved. I'll answer your question as soon as we deal with this. Please, Zubimendi. I was just about to say we started very well in the first 10 minutes. It started to feel like Inter Milan have woken up. I'm not gonna doubt the boys, but we've played into their hands. We've fallen asleep defensively there. It's game on.
Inter Milan 1, Arsenal 1. It's a wonderful finish from outside the box. It was initially Thuram that got played through one-on-one. Mosquera made a really good last-ditch tackle. Arsenal don't clear. And then from just outside the box, it's a wonderful first-time finish into the roof of the net, beating David Raya. Inter Milan 1, Arsenal 1. James, how could you guys have defended that better?
Lovely goal.
Mosquera, that's actually a few really good moments he's had with last-minute blocks. I think he did one about a minute or two before, and he's looked good on the ball. He needed a bit of help there. I don't know if Miles could get across and help a bit better to ensure that pass isn't there to Thuram, but that probably feels a bit harsh. I also think it's just like a really great finish.
Great finish, man.
Yeah, although it's not like proper top corner, but I don't think Raya's anything wrong there. He said it with good power. Look, we made a good start, but Inter Milan found a way to get through us a few times, and they've scored. I don't think there's too much that's really gone wrong there. They're a good side, and they've scored a good goal.
It's game on.
Score! Gabriel Jesus
a double. Yes!
What a player. Never doubted.
Never doubted. We always believed in you, Jesus. We're shameless.
Abby, how they scored it? What from?
What were we saying?
Corner boys in the building.
Set piece again, ole, right?
Yeah,
they all count, don't they, CJ? They all count, mate.
They mocked us, and now everybody's happy to score from them, man. Hated the doors, but never.
I have to say, mocking a team for being good at scoring goals felt like a rogue thing for people to do.
That's what you do.
It's a Saka corner, and that's Trossard who makes a run to the back post, heads it across goal. It comes off the bar, and then Gabriel Jesus is in the right place at the right time.
I don't know. Who cares about them?
They complain about something. Well done, Gabby.
They shouldn't be complaining about the lack of defending.
Yeah, terrible.
They should complain about the fact that Gabriel Jesus is unmarked 2 yards out.
There's two players there, exactly.
The back of the net.
One of the smallest men has actually kept the corner alive. Like, what are you looking at the offside?
We're so good at them, aren't we?
Yeah, we're amazing. Like, shout out Nicholas Hoven.
Genuinely, man. Nicholas Joven, the work he's doing from an attacking perspective. I think defensively we're still a bit shaky sometimes, but I've never known a team like this on set pieces. No. Now, some people might talk about, I don't know, Chelsea's of old or other teams in fine, but
nothing compared to this.
I've never known a team on set pieces.
This what we've seen this season with set pieces is scary.
It's years.
It's freakish, and but we're what? How are we? 18 months into this kind of thing, and like no team has got any idea on how to stop it.
Because you know why? The hardest thing to do in football is to stop the second ball.
Here we go.
Are you on?
So that makes the price matter. That makes... Oh, here we go.
Unlucky.
Relax,
bro. All right, talk. Abby, come outside, please. You see what he did? Don't talk on that guy. Second choice striker is on the bench.
Great finish.
I think that's what we call perfect timing.
Yeah.
Victor Gyökeres with a wonderful strike, 25 yards out with his right foot.
Yeah.
Beats the
Big
goalkeeper.
Great
Right on cue.
Right on cue. Big Champions League night. Champions League night. We got to remember, if we go back to the Chelsea game, at that time, that's the most important goal we scored, that Arsenal scored in the semi-finals, and he's done it at the San Siro, the holy grail of European
Great
football.
finish.
Look,
Well done,
great
Victor.
finish. And he actually tried to set it to Saka. How's that for the aesthetic merchants? What a
great
finish.
finish.
I'm never giving up.
He tries to set it to Saka, who almost can't sort his feet out, but then the ball lays off perfectly to Gyökeres, who's just outside the box. He runs onto it, first time finish, beats Jan Sommer, who does get a right hand on it,
Yeah,
and he
good on you,
looks
mate.
there like a man
me, I told
who
you.
looks relieved, happy and proud.
And sorry, what were we saying earlier about like stretching the back foot? So Martinelli outside of his boot just boots it up the pitch because he's the more willing runner.
3 goals in 5
Jesus and Havertz, in my opinion, don't make those kind of runs. He does that. What we were saying earlier, slightly unfortunate timing because we were talking about
You were slagging him off, weren't you?
It actually seems to be a theme in here in the last few days.
I have defended this guy all season. I was hate me for it. But we were saying Bert is not too proud. But Arsenal, what we were saying with the money spent, the reason they're haggling over the millions, the reason they got him for 55 plus add-ons was because they weren't willing to go, no, we're going to throw everything at it because he's the guy. Clearly there was a degree of, we're not sure, is it him, is it Sesko, do we even want this guy, is it going to be Havertz or whatever? Sorry?
And neither are really convinced. If you're honest, the striker market's dead.
And that's fine, but all you can ask is, look, I thought against Chelsea he was very good. Against Forest, I thought he was really poor. He's come on today, he's made an impact. Some good hold-up play, won a foul, and then when he gets that chance to show that he's a good finisher, he hits it really, really well. I'm really, really happy for him. He deserves that. And by the way, Arsenal, with very little on this game, are 3-1 up at the San Siro. About to make it 7 wins out of 7. We're looking so good in this Champions League campaign.
Sign of champions.
We just got to keep working very hard, man.
What would you rather? We won the Premier League or the Champions League?
Champs.
No, but you've got to have a preference. Which would you rather?
Do you think it matters for Spurs fans?
I think it does a little. I'll tell you why. I think Arsenal, while it's been over 20 years, we do have a history of winning league titles. We haven't.
Not last time,
Not in mine. But we do. Not in my supporting
fan, yeah.
But in Europe, that's the one thing everyone holds against us as a big, massive club.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
one thing people.
What would you
hold
prefer
against
to win if you could pick one yourself then?
Champions.
Right now, because of the position we're in the Premier League. Because
I think the Prem's the one you want to get done.
Imagine we didn't win it from this position. But if you ask me at the start of the season, probably the Champions League. I think it does more for us as a club to have that on our record.
We've got 30 seconds left. Bodo Glimt 3, Man City 1. I mean, James, I'm not overplaying it by saying this is going to be one of the biggest upsets in Champions League history,
Yeah, one of the biggest, and it's not come in a context where, I don't know, City were missing a load of players. I appreciate the defence isn't probably what they'd want to put out there week in, week out, but still some good players in there. It's not even a situation which City, are top of the league phase and can feel they can lose a game and it not really matter. They're, in a conversation where there's still quite a bit of work to do. So this is a massive, massive result. Bodo Glimt have been very competitive in Europe for a few years now. I remember Arsenal going there. I think we won 1-0 with a penalty, but I think it was quite tough work.
Yeah, they're very good technically.
They worked Spurs hard, didn't they? But I think you turned it around from 2-0 down, but they gave you a really good game. I know you beat them last season, I think, en route to winning the Europa. So they're a side have been bubbling up to a point, but destroying Man City, and let's call it destroying, right? Rodri sent off for 2 yellows, 2 offside goals as well. I think it's a tremendous, tremendous night. And I think it's a really worrying sign for City. Who
You have to question their mentality, so to cut you, James.
Who, City?
Yeah, because I give City credit, it's Man City and whatnot. And this is just, as much as this is a big night in the Champions League, it's not an isolated incident.
Yeah.
I know if this was other clubs, and again, City, they're the biggest and baddest. They've won everything. They've got a generational manager. They've got Haaland. The list goes on. If this was other clubs, you'd be question marking their mentality, considering what these players have done, not just in recent years, but really the best part of Pep Guardiola's tenure. Surely you have to question everything at the football club, and then you got Donnarumma like he always does surrounding the ref. Surely there's a mentality thing as much as tactics at this club. Surely their players have to stand up to be counted now.
Okay, there could be. I'm not disputing the idea.
I'm not suggesting there is.
I'm not disputing the idea that mentally they don't have the steel and resilience that they had over the years when they won 4 in a row, won the treble, all that. But I think sometimes we can jump to that too quickly. And first and foremost, there's just a real structural problem. I think, look, let's be fair. Diaz and Gvardiol are a big miss.
Stones as well.
And Stones. They're a big, big miss. But and that's true. That's true, to be fair. We missed Saliba and Gabriel, and they didn't close the gap in that point.
Last year, man.
But I think, and that's true too, and they're spending money. But I think...
By the way, since last January, they've basically signed a whole new 11.
Yeah.
Since the last January transfer window with the
absolutely, and we should hold them to that stand. Not only the ones they've set, but the ones we hold every other team who spends that kind of money. But what I would say is, I think what's concerning for City is we can talk about the players they're missing now, the goals they're conceding. I was told that Diaz and Gvardiol were having good seasons, and they still looked quite messy at the back. So I don't know how just plugging in Gahey, Stones returning, Diaz being fit in a month or whatever, fixes all these problems for Man City. Now, again, okay, they welcome back Rodri, but we were saying earlier, it's so unfair to expect him to just...
And by the way, City's form since Rodri's come back has completely dipped. I think it's 2 wins and 7 since Rodri's come back into the team, which is, awful results.
Yeah,
it's Nico, if anything, at the moment. Like, he was in a decent patch of form before. He ironically...
Well, it felt like he was just starting to kind of maybe get to his best before Rodri. Like, it took him a little while to settle. James, how do they turn this around, Man City? Are they going to turn it around under Pep Guardiola?
I think the best teams I've ever seen, when I've feared City the most, is when I've actually known what's going out week in, week out. And actually, City fans at one point in the season were complaining that he was just playing the same 11 and not resting, rotating. That might have played a part with injuries. Who can know? I'm not physically.
Played Haaland against Exeter as well.
Well, things like that.
That was really bizarre.
That's really strange. I agree. But I do think maybe that team could benefit from, is Foden on the right or is he a 10 in this team? Is Shirky on the right or is he a 10 in this team? Is Bernardo playing deeper with Rodri or is Nico going to get a run? But I appreciate injuries have played a part. Is Reinders going to be... I know he's not like, the bulkiest of central midfielders, but he gives a bit of steel and legs and dynamism in that midfield. Get him next to a 6 as a bit more protection. Pick your fullbacks, and I appreciate not ideal that Nunes has been injured, Nouri's been injured. I understand that those things play a part. Are you going to go with Doku, Semenyo, more direct wingers, or are you going to play with Foden and Shirky in the pockets and get your wing backs getting forward? Like, I think they need to just find an identity and kind of stick with it. And I think where Man City maybe are tripping up a little bit is they probably are trying a few too many different things right now, and Pep just needs to settle on what is going to carry him to the rest of the season.
Yeah, is that fair, CJ? It felt like after certainly last season's struggles, he has tried to adapt. He's tried to maybe change the style of play a little bit. Do you almost maybe think he's trying to do a little bit too... Is he almost himself, game by game, trying to figure out the right way for Man City to get back to their best?
I mean, Sam, if you was Pep, wouldn't you do the same? Like, his greatest strength is he's an overthinker. He keeps innovating, and this is probably his biggest test at this moment in time. I do think at a point this season, probably before they lost the form, it looked like he found something, as James said, when you had Foden and all those players in the pockets, and then it's just kind of gone down the toilet once again. For me, football's decided at both ends. City can and will always score goals, but defensively, it can't just be on that back 5. It's the spaces, it's the following runners, it's the...
I think it's the control as well. I think the Man City team's the best, which is pass you to death.
Like, they don't pass you to death. You couldn't look after the boys.
You couldn't put a couple of passes together against them, let alone try and dominate, try and score goals. They used to just take a lead. You couldn't get anywhere near them. They'd pass you to death. They dominate games. This team, and that Fulham game was a great example.
Exactly.
Where they let games slip, and I mean,
they're lacking leadership on the pitch.
Do you think that's the problem of lacking leadership?
I think so, because as much as it's ultimately managers have to be held accountable. Pep Guardiola, we've just spoken about him, but the players, you lot are seasoned vets. You lot are either generational talents, played a lot of minutes for your country on a big amount of money, won a lot and done a lot either at City or elsewhere. The best players manage themselves, and I don't see that. Obviously, they haven't got Gundogan, they haven't got Kevin De Bruyne, or Diaz is out at the moment. I don't see any leadership with City, and I think I'm seeing the same thing week in, week out. I think the Fulham game where they won is the first one I was like, yeah, there's alarm bells here. They could be got at. Even against us, like, granted, we have beat City a couple of times and given them a game, but the way they kind of camped in their own half, the way they look disillusioned at the Emirates, I can't say I'm surprised. Obviously, I'm surprised because Brodo Glint have done a madness, but I can't say I'm surprised that we're talking about this. Man City look the most beatable they've ever been in years, and the very fact that they're still in the title shout and everyone still expects them to hunt them down speaks testament of how good they are. But there's evidently got to be mentality issues. Like, everybody's played football, whether Sunday League or whatnot. They're going to have conversations in the change room, and they've probably, after today, they probably haven't conversations that they probably said against Fulham or several times. I think the best footballers are leaders, and I don't see anyone, whether they're the young players or the old players right now for City.
Can I suggest, though, that The Premier League this year is so interesting. Set piece is more important than ever before. I think we've had more 0-0s. I read that there's more 0-0s, I think, this season than there were last season and the season before, and we're just over halfway. I think what City's greatest strength has been, probably just this season, has been the football they play, how attacking they can be. But how many attackers, how many forwards right now in the league are thriving? Even Saka's being criticised, and I love the guy. Gyökeres struggling for form. Isak before his injury was struggling.
Salah this season.
Well.
What's that, sorry?
Salah this season.
And Foden and Shirky had a month, but that's kind of it. I think when you look across the board, Voltemade, although he made a good start, Elanga, there's so many who I think are struggling. Sesko, Cunha. I wonder whether what separates Arsenal from Man City right now is that there's a steal and a look. If we have a bad day, we're probably not going to lose. We're probably going to pick up a point. We're probably going to get a set piece to unlock a game. We're going to use our physicality to kind of bully ourselves into a position that Man City aren't finding themselves in, because technically teams are more organised than ever before. Teams are more physical than ever before. Yeah. Teams are very, very hard to beat. Hence the amount of 0-0s. I think City are coming up against sides that have the antidote. Like, how do you face this Man City side? You're organised, you're physical, you get stuck in. And that's why I think Arsenal are pulling away a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're actually spot on there.
There's always, there was questions about all of last season. There's going to be questions. I'm going through social media. People are talking about Pep's future, which is obviously going to feel inevitable. No, in terms of I don't think Man City are going to sack Pep Guardiola, are they, for obvious reasons?
Do you think that he regrets signing the 2-year extension?
I don't think he wanted to anyways, if I'm completely honest. And it's
why did he then?
Yeah. I genuinely think above board, because of what we've seen City this year and last year. I think, again, I don't know anyone, but I think the City board have said to him, listen, help us out a bit, stay for a bit.
Start the new cycle.
Yeah, while we find the replacement. I don't want to do the Arsenal thing, but had Mikel Arteta obviously not ended up at Arsenal, stayed in the coaching staff, maybe there would have been a new horizon. They were linked with Maresca, company, there's rumours there. I genuinely think there's that, because I look at a couple of their signings and it's like, you're not necessarily Pep signings. Are they planning for the future beyond him?
But I also thought last season, one of the main reasons why he wanted to stay on is because of how bad they were. I don't think Pep himself,
he's a competitor,
a winner, having that kind of totally winning mentality, would have wanted to have left Man City like he did last season, in a real mess. Not challenging for a title. But then I wonder what he's going to find himself sort of in a similar situation, maybe come the end of this season.
If they win the league, he's definitely going to leave, in my opinion. Yeah. This is his longest tenure there is at any club as well.
There's that saying, isn't there? Just go out on a high. And I think that probably maybe if he had his time again, like after doing what they did and achieving what they did with that squad, I think that probably would have been a good time to bow out. And because the restructure and the new era of Manchester City then was about to start, I think it probably hit us harder because probably from when Rodri got injured and we saw the drop off, between the team and just mentality, and obviously just we were shocked at the level of Manchester City and how big that drop off was. But I think that probably you're just seeing a team that is being rebuilt, and we compare it to old teams of Manchester City. This is not the same team. They don't have the same caliber of players currently, don't have the same ideas. The league has changed as well. It's the same way that we compare Chelsea to what Chelsea were. They are a different club now. We just have to probably lower the expectations of what we think Manchester City can do. This isn't looking anywhere near a side that could go on a 10, 12, 15 unbeaten run. Like, this is just not it.
Do I fear it? Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely, I do.
Of course. It's
all
I want.
As a Liverpool fan, you have no idea how angry I am that you guys get to go up against this Man City team when we got 97 points and didn't win the league, which I still think is not fair.
Well, you weren't good enough.
I wonder. Okay,
otherwise, you'd have won it.
No. All right, clever clogs. I wonder what two players Man City are going to sign tomorrow for £100 million to try and get themselves back in the title race.